As the war rages on, thousands of Ukrainian civilians have taken up arms to protect their country. Joining us now, former chief investment advisor to the Prime Minister of Ukraine, Daniel Bilak. He's volunteering as a member of Ukraine's Territorial Defense Force and is on the ground in Kyiv. And Daniel, welcome to the show. I know you had choices. You could have left, and your choice was to stay and to fight. Tell us what you're seeing.
Well, thank you very much for having me. As you can tell from my accent, I was born in a Western Ukrainian village called Toronto, and I've stayed here because this is where my family is, my younger children, my wife, my home. I've worked to build this country for 30 years, and there's no reason, I didn't see any reason why somebody else should defend what I believe in.
And Ukraine's territorial defense forces that you're working among, tell us how they are doing. There are reports, obviously, of fighting back hard. But what are you witnessing on the ground?
Well, look, the territorial defense forces were started in January of this year. They were set up in order to basically create a total resistance to Russian aggression, to get beyond the kind of mobilization of reserves that we see going on in Russia today. But I'm telling you, the horrific events of the last 2 days have just proven how much Ukrainians need to have total resistance, and how much the territorial defense forces need and are continue to be integrated with the regular army and with the special forces. I mean, what we've witnessed in Bucha, Irpin, Hostomel, and you're going to see it in Mariupol and Chernihiv and Kharkiv, is just bestial brutality. I mean, it is incomprehensibly barbaric. But this is nothing new. This is how the Russian army has always fought. And you know, the problem is that the sensitivities in the West are such that people have become desensitized. Oh, we can't, you know, we can't prejudge things. We need evidence, etc. Well, here's your evidence. And this, frankly, is Ukraine's Srebrenica. This is that defining moment where the West needs to stand up. We have defeated the army on the ground. These guys are out of gas, they're out of grub, and they're out of guts. They don't want to fight. They don't know how to fight. And we have defeated them on the ground. But we cannot deliver the final blow until we finally get them out of the air. And this is where we need more help from NATO. I mean, I don't know what else has to happen for NATO to take a more robust posture in Ukraine. You know, I get all the arguments about nuclear weapons. NATO's not threatening Russia with nuclear weapons. And Putin knows. All he has to say is nuclear war, and everybody goes, oh my God, he's going to use weapons. And then he seizes more territory. And this is really something that you either have the courage of your convictions, and you step up and you provide the humanitarian assistance that Ukrainians need, and the military assistance that Ukraine needs. As President of Lithuania just said, and General Wesley Clark on another channel said yesterday, you know, you need to stop Putin in Ukraine, and that means we need to get whatever we need.
Mr. Bilak, first of all, enormous respect to you for staying and fighting and continuing to serve the country where you've lived and served for 30 years. Let's be specific about what you think NATO ought to do here. We've been reporting all morning about what's happening not far from where you're sitting right now, as a matter of fact, in the suburb of Bucha. Absolutely horrifying war crimes without question. So what would you like to see NATO do? They've obviously, President Biden would say, we're giving weapons that you need. We've crippled the Russian economy with sanctions. What is a practical question do you all need on the ground there?
Well, I mean, we need lots of things. We need the weapons that Ukrainians are asking for, the heavy artillery. We need the MiGs that, for some reason, the Pentagon feels we don't need to fight the Russians in the air. These are MiGs that are held, fighter aircraft that are stationed in Eastern European NATO countries. We need surface-to-air missiles. There's a whole list. Everybody's got it. And they're still dithering. And people are dying. And it's really, you know, you either have moral clarity around what needs to be done, or you start to have moral culpability for the consequences of your inaction. And every day that we don't get what we need in order to defeat this horrific enemy, this Mordor, then you have the blood of children and innocent people on the hands of the decision makers that make those decisions. I don't understand why NATO doesn't come in and create a humanitarian corridor in some of the places like Chernihiv into the west. Why aren't NATO warships in the Black Sea, international territorial waters, where mines are floating, Russian-planted mines are floating onto the shores of NATO countries, Romania, Bulgaria, and Turkey? Why is there no presence of NATO warships in international waters off the coast of Ukraine? I mean, I keep hearing 1,000 reasons why something can't happen. I would like to hear from NATO what can happen, what they're going to do. How are you going to stop this atrocity? Because if you don't stop him, if we don't stop him here, he's coming after you. And he's not just making this up. He sees Poland and the Baltics as the next target. And my greatest fear is that the West is going to stand by and fight Putin down to the last Ukrainian. And that would be just a horrifically unjust outcome for the suffering and the sacrifice that Ukrainians have made for freedom. Ukrainians have shown the West that freedom is not free. It comes at a cost. And it's better to die on your feet than live on your knees. And this is a war of annihilation. It's a war of extermination. This guy, these people who were slaughtered in Bucha, in Irpin, and these others were killed because they were Ukrainians. That's the definition of genocide. No other reason.
Daniel Bilak, thank you so much for being on the show. Thank you for your bravery. He's former chief investment advisor to the Prime Minister of Ukraine, now volunteering as a member of Ukraine's Territorial Defense Force. Thank you very much.
Hey, thanks so much for watching our YouTube channel. You can follow up on today's top stories and breaking news, or catch up on your favorite MSNBC shows all in one place. Download the NBC News app today.